I wanted so badly to get in. The reason why I have this laptop is because I literally have all the footage here that I took, and I want to give my accurate commentary on what I was feeling at the time. I'm gonna get down to business. I'm going to be reviewing the Al Marjan Business Class Garden Lounge in Doha, Qatar. The first thing I see is a Louis Vuitton lounge that's right on top ish of the actual Louis Vuitton store. It was a very, kind of like boutique experience that was kind of a moneymaker. It was kind of a restaurant, and it was an exclusive restaurant because you had to be traveling first class in order to get in. So what do? I say, hey, can I just take a look? People, listen, it might be embarrassing sometimes if you feel like you have to ask to just look, but you're traveling, nobody knows you. It's not like you're gonna, show up to work the next day and see all the same people there. You're in another country. And also too, you want the experience. Listen, closed mouths do not get fed. If you don't ask, the answer will always be no. All these sort of variations of the saying is ask and you shall receive, do it. So don't be afraid. So basically I said, hey girl, yeah, this is so nice. I'm flying business, blah, blah. I tried to give him, get a little sweet talk there, but she wasn't budging. I said, oh, oh, do you have to pay? Oh, do you have to do this? Yeah. Anyway, so then when she finally was not going to let me get in, I said, can I please just look, I'm vlogging. This is just kind of what I do for a hobby. I love to travel and I love to explore new places, blah, blah, blah. So she's like, okay, yeah, I can take you on a little bit of a tour. So it was very small inside. Honestly, it probably wouldn't have been worth it anyway, even if I was flying first class to stay in that lounge and then pay for my food and drink. When that garden lounge was it. It was going crazy on the drinks, the food, the desserts, the amenities. The very first thing I did was I found one of the concierges to show me to where the locker room was. I had a carry-on with me and I had a big kind of bag. I can't even remember. I think I had my Longchamp bag. It was big. And so I wanted to put both of those things inside the locker so I could freely move. And the funny thing is, you had to be staying for a certain amount of time, I think, but I would just made it by a hair. I literally had, I think my layover was an hour and a half, but by the time I got to the lounge, I only had 45 minutes to be there. Anyway, so I put my stuff in the locker and then I just zoomed through the place, honey. I got footage of everything. There was a game room that I did not go into. I just got a little bit of footage. There were so many lounge areas, so many places to plug in outlets. There were so many places to recline, very just cozy little nooks, little seating conversation areas. And there were the lounge areas ranged from small little seating conversation areas to larger areas where people can just congregate. And they also had all of this was overlooking the rest of the airport, which it's always great when you have a nice view as well. There were at least 3 bars. At one of the bars there was a sushi chef. And of course, I had to get some fresh nigiri. They were only serving certain types, I think shrimp nigiri and something else. So I just said, okay, fine. I wanted salmon, but it's all good. I sat down. I ate so much in such a short period of time, I almost bursted. They had a smoking room, which of course I didn't go into. They had hot food stations that were buffet style. They had chefs that were carving beef. They had cold food stations. They had freaking salad bars. They had dessert bars. They had champagne bars where just literally champagne was just chilling in the thing of ice. There was a full gym, a full spa, of course, and then there were showers. So of course I went in, took a look at it. Beautiful amenities, so clean, just so definitely not on the Al Safa first class lounge level, but still gets the job done. They still had personal areas, personal shower rooms, which is typical for these international airline airport lounges. Very typical. Al Safa just literally had your own freaking hotel room, but we won't talk about that. This is the garden review. They always have the best champagne. They had Laurent Perrier, which was great. That's my zhuzh. I love Laurent Perrier. They had Taittinger. They had some good rosés, but I just usually stick to the Laurent Perrier. That's my favorite type of champagne when I travel Qatar Airways. Emirates has Dom. Qatar has either Laurent Perrier. I think that they have Krug in the Al Safa first class lounge, but don't quote me. And they have in the Al Safa first class lounge they have La Grande Dame, Yeah. Okay, so then it was time to go to the quiet room. They were you have to have at least 45 minutes before your flight takes off if you're going to be able to use the quiet room. When I tell you these people, I'm sorry, but I felt like I was being a little bit discriminated against, probably because of the way that I looked, and the fact that I only had 45 minutes to my flight. They were very hesitant to give me a room because they were like, well, what do you need it for? Like, why are you like, what's that camera for? You can't have a camera. I'm like, I'll put my camera away. I need to rest. I have a migraine. They were like, well, you know, you really don't need the room because you don't have. I said, what is the freaking, like, I said, listen, I have this amount of time. I really need to do this. Like, I really need to go inside. I have a migraine and I need low light. And it was like really a fight to go in. And I've never had that happen to me on a luxury airline airport lounge experience. I think it may have been a cultural thing as well, but they were very resistant to letting me in the quiet room. I guess because they didn't want me to disturb anybody. But when I'm telling you I have a migraine, I need low light, that should be enough. So it was just a lie. And they were like asking me like, oh, for my ID and like all this stuff. All they need is my boarding pass. You know, I didn't really like that, but that's fine. I'll show you the way it looked. So I have to be honest. The lounge was beautiful. It was brand new. You can't beat a brand new place, right? It's always going to be nice. They had so many different amenities: smoking room, game room, full spa, full gym, meeting rooms, quiet room, shower rooms. They had 3 bars. They had chefs making sushi, chefs cutting, you know, prime rib. They had multiple seating areas. It was just, it was a dream, but the customer service wasn't that great. I've had the pleasure of, going to the first class lounge. I saw for first class lounge twice, on 2 different trips, and the customer service is bar none. It is 5-star. The way these people cater to you is out of this world, and it is, you really feel like you're on a luxury airline. Like, you really feel like a luxury airline passenger, whereas in this new like garden business lounge, it felt like a little bit like, okay, well, you know, they were like herding wild goats. I don't know. It just didn't feel as personalized. I mean, granted, many more people travel business class than actually travel first class, and so there's a difference in exclusivity there. But let me tell you, the original business class, Al Marjan business class lounge, I would say and I haven't done a review on this yet, but I probably will at some point. The customer service is better. You know, they come and take your order too, like at the Garden Lounge, but when they also come and take your order at the regular lounge. But so those elements are the same. Most of the elements are the same, but I would just say that it's the original business class lounge is bigger, and people like, I think customer service is like the customer service was better, basically. You know, they made me feel like I was lucky to be there, you know, in the Garden Lounge, and I just felt like just one of many. But yeah, so it was good, you know, and it's cool. Would I go back to the Garden Lounge again? Not to stay for a long stay. Like, if I had like certainly not if I had an overnight. Certainly not if I had an overnight layover. But if I had a long layover, I would choose the regular business class lounge over the Garden business class lounge. Maybe it was just, you know, the time of year. Maybe it was just the staff that were there. But I just feel like they might have hired a bunch of new people that just don't really know the elements of hospitality and the standard of hospitality that Qatar Airways holds themselves to. And maybe since it was still new, maybe they were still getting a hang of things. I can kind of tell they were like, not everyone knew all the rules to everything. Like, it was like, oh, like, you need to have this much time before your trip before your next flight in order to get there. Like, your layover needs to be this long before here, blah, blah, blah. The other thing too, I didn't like the Louis Vuitton lounge. That was like an extension of the first class lounge. And then once you were there, you had to pay for stuff. I didn't like that. I just felt like, you know, people pay so much for tickets. Like, it's a lounge. Like, you might as well call it a restaurant, you know, and not have it be an extension of the Garden Lounge, because that's kind of deceptive. And it just makes you feel a little bit like a second class citizen. Yeah, so that's pretty much that review. I hope you enjoyed it. A little bit comical. But yeah, so I'll catch you in the next one. Thanks for stopping by.